Hello and welcome to News Hour. I am Willimaina Buku. Coming up in this edition, President Bio introduces the free education core textbooks for primary and secondary schools. First Lady launches a project to economically empower female entrepreneurs in Sierra Leone. Police at New Englandville are investigating a shooting incident on Sankey Street, Brookfields. And Criminal Investigations Department interrogates APC Secretary General. All these stories and more lined up in this edition of News Hour. I am Willimaina Buku. So the 50 Million Women Speak Platform Project Country team has been launched by the First Lady, Fatima Bio. The idea to economically empower female entrepreneurs is an initiative by the African Development Bank, Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS and COMESA to increase women's access to financial and non-financial information to support businesses. This is in line with the United Nations Development Goals and the African Union Agenda 2063. Princess Gibson reports.
The 50 Million Women Speak Platform Project Country team will start with the collection of data to inform policymakers on the implementation of the project. It aims to empower women entrepreneurs through information communication technology, ICT, which has a link with gender equity. It is clear that in most African countries, most women are unable to access loans due to conditions attached by financial institutions. Recent interviews with women by the SLBC on women's empowerment shows that average business women are in dire need of economic empowerment.
The economic situation in the country presently is stiff. I am doing business with less profit. Even to upkeep my family is not easy. Let the government concentrate on economic empowerment of women.
It's not easy for us. I'm out to collect debtors as my main source of income.
The regional initiative to support female entrepreneurship could serve as a step to address some of these concerns. Finda Kuruma is the Vice President of ECOWAS.
This initiative, therefore, comes to crown all our efforts for the empowerment of women in West Africa and in this beautiful country, my country, Sierra Leone. I'm delighted by the enthusiasm and commitment shared by all of you here today for the success of this initiative, and I'd like to call on all Sierra Leone women to make good use of these opportunities that this platform will avail to them to network with women all over the world in order to grow their businesses.
Keynote speaker, Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Bendu Dasama, lauded the initiative and highlighted some steps taken by the ministry to provide the enabling environment.
Some of these enablers include provide training and educational opportunities for our women, establish a women's development fund to support female entrepreneurs, promote women in agriculture through direct support to them for large-scale farming and agro-processing activities, providing market information about local and export markets and facilitate the exporting of farm products, providing improved facilities for fish processing and poultry, and promoting female access to land and other strategic resources.
Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Nabila Tunis, said the ministry has designed plans to ensure women's empowerment. Principal Country Economist, African Development Bank, Dr. Jamal Zaid, said the bank has programs to ensure gender mainstreaming and access to financial services by women. What could be the impact of this project on the average Sierra Leonean business women? Marie Bob Kande is the president of Market Women Association.
Based on what I have heard from all speakers. If it is implemented properly and effectively, it will make a very great impact on the interpreters at all levels. Like I had one of the speakers mention the issue of not reading and writing about some of the entrepreneurs that they are illiterate, even though they are very successful in terms of doing their business, but they are illiterate. So when they are doing like they talk about documentation, they have to do documentation, they have to put that into consideration.
First Lady Fatima Bio commended ECOWAS for its intervention towards female economic development and not in response to crisis in the country. She said the project could be sustainable regardless of the party in governance.
And when they give us that platform, we are women there. When they give you opportunity, make good use of it. Let us take it and enjoy it and make sure we actually raise the bar so that whichever government comes, whichever in the future, will not drag us again to the gutters, because we would have had a perfect settlement.
The 50 Million Women Speak Platform Project country team comprises representatives from government, civil society, and the private sector. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
The Secretary General and the National Executive of the All People's Congress were asked to report to the heads of the Criminal Investigations Department on Wednesday, 9th January 2019. An engagement yesterday between the APC leadership and the police didn't end well. On Wednesday morning, the executive members of APC were at the CID headquarters to answer to the police summon. Statements were obtained from the Secretary General of the APC, Ambassador Fode Yansane, and later allowed to leave. According to the APC scribe, he will talk to the press later. While police at New Englandville have arrested a police inspector who is being investigated for allegedly firing live rounds on Sankey Street, Brookfields. According to an eyewitness, the incident happened on Monday when the police officer and a driver of another vehicle engaged in an argument as a result of a traffic jam. The argument caused commotion, which led the police officer to rush for his gun in an unlicensed Nissan Sunny and fired some gunshots. Superintendent Alhaji Bangura is the officer in charge of the New England police station. In that interview with Asmi Ba, he explains more about the shooting incident.
On Monday, at about 10 o'clock, a group of people arrested and brought in an individual, a police officer, an inspector, for an allegedly offense of shooting and wounding. Yes, the matter is currently and actively under our investigations, and the culprit is in our custody, and the rifle as well is also here in my custody.
You may want to show us the rifle?
Why not? Just this one.
Okay.
And this is a Glock 17 weapon.
Okay. So is this a weapon that the police has accounted for?
Well, these are personal weapons that are given to those officers for service delivery, professional service delivery. It is attached to him, he has signed for it, he will account for it if the needs arises. So yes, of course.
Who is the individual in question?
Well, I want to perhaps for now hide his identity, but he's a police officer. I know him. He has given me his name, his identity, and where he is attached. And all those informations are now on my desk. And as I have just said, that the matter is actively under investigations. In as much as time will tell, you will need to know and things will unfold itself, because those that allegedly were shot are all came to the police station and they've been issued with police medical form.
Were there any fatality?
Not, of course, just a slight and minor injuries.
How many people were injured?
4 in number.
4 people.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, based on your preliminary investigations, what led to the police officer releasing Trigger?
Well, I will let it out. That is why I said the matter will be previewed to you as we move along time.
He's a police officer. What assurance will you give the public that fair investigation is going to be done and justice is you are going to charge the matter to court?
Well, we'll begin to look into the nitty-gritty of the matter, and then we'll come out with the statements. I have just informed my bosses, and they will tell me exactly what is supposed to be obtained. And when you look at me, I am somebody that believes in justice. I don't believe in hiding anything, and I know exactly that I am going to serve my conscience and the God who has created me. But I don't hide and I don't backslide justice. Justice is the be-it-all, and it is one of my beacon. So I trust me that matter, when we go into the bottom, when it is quietly and quickly investigated, then you will know the truth. Nobody will hide the truth, and nobody will cover any truth. Right? Truth is truth. It will prevail.
How long is the investigation going to last?
We've already obtained statements from all concerns, those that were there at the scene of crime, the witnesses, the victims, and even the guy who've just started obtaining, how do you call it, contemporaneous statements, right? A interview with him. He's giving us the gist, and we've not read all statements yet to begin to give to facts. So I will say readily the facts will be out, maybe in not too distant future.
You understand the gentleman in question also was driving an unlicensed and unregistered vehicle?
And the vehicle is already in the police here. It's in our custody. Well, I've not gone to the details yet, whether it is not licensed. It's a Belgian plate, and that is why all exhibits relating to the incidents are near here in our surrounding here. So rest assured that you will get the truth and justice will prevail.
Some people say he's a bodyguard of the Minister of State North.
That will come out when he has made statements, because he's currently under interview. Maybe he's going to clearly explain his identity, where he is, where he's supposed to be, where he's attached. I mean, that will come out.
Harmattan is one of the seasons in Sierra Leone, which normally begins in November and runs up to January. However, this year, some Sierra Leoneans say they have not felt the harmattan as they felt it previous years. Joseph Toure filed in this report.
Sierra Leone, a tropical rainforest country in the west coast of Africa, usually experiences 2 seasons, but the harmattan is normally experienced in November and December. This year's harmattan season has been seen by many as one that has been delayed. What does the ordinary man think about this latest development on the climate change? Saidu Kamara, a businessman, said this harmattan is really different from the previous ones they have experienced. Ishmael Conte also shared similar view on the current weather pattern.
The harmattan season this year is late. We have been experiencing it in November and December, and it is not good at all.
But it is late this time around. I wholly experienced it today.
Sierra Leone Meteorological Agency, as established by law in July 2017, is the institution responsible for forecasting information on the weather and climate in the country. Gabriel Manakbaka is the Deputy Director of the Sierra Leone Meteorological Agency. He explains the reasons for the delay of the harmattan.
For West Africa, our climate is controlled by the interaction of 2 air masses. And of course, this interaction is like from the north and of course the south movement of the, what we call in meteorology, the interconvergence zone with the ITZ. Okay? And of course, as for the Hamatan, mostly it's me experiencing the dry season, where we have like a hot and dry continental air masses, and mostly that originate from the high pressure. Whenever we have high pressure, it gives rise to the dry season. And of course, with the Hamatan, the only problem is like we have a very cool air, which comes from the Sahara Desert. And mostly for West Africa, of course, the Amazon season is supposed to, of course, aspire.
He added that many are using the global model, which he noted contains uncertainties. The Deputy Director General said they will endeavor to engage with media houses to educate the majority of the populace on meteorological issues.
That report was filed in by Joseph Toure, read by Francis Ndanema. The Executive Chairman of the Environment Protection Agency, Dr. Fode Jawad, has urged persons running hotels to comply with the EPA Act of 2008 as amended in 2010. Dr. Jawad says this during a monitoring tour of hotels at Aberdeen to ascertain whether they have up-to-date environmental impact assessment license and community development action plans. Sheka Sumaila has more.
This is Aberdeen, the area that is housing most of the cities, if not the country's hotels. It is a built-up community with many residents in either self-owned houses or as tenants. These hotels, before start of full operations, must have obtained their environmental impact assessment licenses, and because they are operating in a community, they must have community development action plans. This is not the case for most of the hotels monitored by the Executive Chairperson of EPA, Dr. Fode Jawad and team. Few hotels are complying, Lagunda Hotel being one. Others like Bintumani and Hotel Balmoy said they have started the processes of developing their EIA and the community development action plans. It was also discovered that some of the hotels have tampered significantly with the mangroves on the Aberdeen Creek. The mangroves are on wetlands, and Sierra Leone is a signatory to the Ramsar Convention, which has even been domesticated by the country's parliament. This is a concern to the Environment Protection Agency because the mangroves are very important to the environment. The mangroves serve as breeding grounds for seafoods and also prevent flooding in case of sea level rise as a result of climate change. Dr. Fode Jawad was not pleased with three things: some of the hotels not having EIA licenses, no community development action plans, and encroachment on the mangroves on the Aberdeen Creek.
I've come to realize that a lot of people are not complying. For example, we went out today and out of the 7 or 8 hotels we visited, only 2 or 3 are complying. But the message is we continue doing this, talk to them. As far as I'm concerned, if you are operating in an environment, you need to take care of the environment. You need to be responsible for whatever you do as far as the environmental footprints are concerned.
He said compliance is a must as the EPA Act is the guiding tool the agency is going to use for the effective and efficient management of the country's environment. It could be recalled that recent studies by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change rated Sierra Leone as the 3rd most vulnerable country to climate change, which means environmental protection must be taken seriously for sustainable development. Reporting for SLBC News, I am Sheku Sumaila.
Many thanks to Sheka Sumaila for putting that report together. The Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission has begun a 2-day technical meeting in Freetown to draft mini-grid regulation. The draft highlights powers of the Commission such as granting and withdrawal of license to and from mini-grid operators in the country. Soriba Samura reports.
The Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission was established in 2011 to regulate the water and energy sectors in the country. The grids are normally operated in sparsely or densely populated communities where usually they do not deliver the required services to the communities they operate because they are unchecked. The Director General of the Commission, Emmanuel Mana, recalled in 2011 when the Commission was set up following the unbundling of the electricity sector from the National Power Authority to the now EDSA and EGTC.
The trend at the time or now is that arrangement was not efficient at all. You can't be selling, producing and selling, managing the commercial aspect at the same time, managing the production aspect. So the government thought it fit that they have to unbundle. In a sense, they have to establish the production aspect of energy and the distribution aspect of energy. That led to the formation of EGTC and EDSA, as we call it today.
He acknowledged the existence of what he described as off-grids or bits of electricity suppliers putting up competition with the main grid, the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority, EDSA. In the presentation by the head of electricity at the Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission, Kelsis Sisay, the Commission also has the right to penalize defaulting distributors. The Commission, he says, has the sole rights to grant, modify or revoke license from a mini-grid operator after failing to renew as provided for in Section 21 of the Electricity Act of 2011. The essence of the Commission was reiterated not only by the Deputy Chairman of the Oversight Committee in Parliament, Honorable Air David Sheikh Kasigbama, but also the Deputy Minister of Energy, who envisaged the enactment of the regulations as a milestone. The project, which was highlighted in a brief overview by Mr. Tani Pratt, emanated from a rural renewable energy project launched in Sierra Leone, which he said is unique in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of scale and size. The United Nations Office of Project Services Country Manager, Nick Gardner, expresses interest to support the energy sector of Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission will be tabled in Parliament for approval. For SLBC News, Soriba Samura, Freetown.
President Julius Maada Bio has said that education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. The president was speaking during the launching of a textbooks, teaching and learning materials. The launching, which took place at the Government Technical Secondary School, Congo Cross, is another phase of the Free Quality Education Program, which targeted various stakeholders, including donor partners. Hawa Musire reports.
The provision of free teaching and learning materials in support of our quality education program.
These pupils were full of happiness and smiles to see President Julius Maada Bio launching another phase of the Free Quality Education Program in their school. Free core textbooks and another learning and teaching materials. It is a novelty in the educational sector in this country. They expressed gratitude and appreciation to the President and team for making the free quality education a reality.
How did you feel? How did you feel about the launching today? So excited. I'm praying for the President to be doing things like this or more than this. For we too, we are praying for the President to have the more knowledge to give us more than this thing. Thank you.
Feel good. I feel so happy. Thanks to the President of Sierra Leone.
Launching the materials, President Julius Maada Bio told the audience that when he stated during his elections campaign that he will invest in human capital, the opposition parties thought it was a political clue. President Bio noted that the free quality education is for every Sierra Leonean child who wants education, and that initially when he launched the program, it was propagated negatively to mislead the public about the entire process.
Educating our children is not about politics. It is an obligation. It is our sacred duty. So to those detractors who secretly wish for the free quality education to fail, please recognize that the future of our children is above politics. The future of our nation is about politics. By investing in education of our children, we are investing in the future of our nation. Human capital is the most valuable resource in any nation.
The president said his government has allocated over 21% of the budget to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education.
Where we are again today, with a big help from our friends, UKAID and DFID, we are making steady progress. We are providing teaching and learning materials, including core textbooks, free of cost to millions of Sierra Leonean children in government and government-assisted schools around the country. For primary schools, we are providing English, mathematics, science, and social studies textbooks. For junior secondary schools, we are providing English, mathematics, social studies, civics, education, and sciences. And for senior secondary schools, we are providing English and mathematics. Sierra Leoneans, let us be proud of this moment, and let us celebrate this moment with gratitude to our international partners who have been so generous to all of us.
Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Alpha Timbo, described the launching of the core textbooks, teaching and learning materials as another milestone in the history of the country. The core textbooks, learning and teaching materials provided by governments will be supplied to all schools across the country. Over 200 billion leones has been spent on education materials. This, the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education said, is the highest that government has ever spent on education. He commended donor partners for supporting the free quality education, especially DFID and the World Bank.
Being launched here today is the provision of free quality school education materials for government and government-assisted schools. The teaching and learning materials and the core subject textbooks are just two of a number of provisions made by the current government at no cost to parents and pupils. The provisions are designed to enhance the teaching and learning process in our educational institutions.
The country director of DFID, Mary Hunt, disclosed that the UK is proud to work alongside the government of Sierra Leone and the 2.7 billion core textbooks, teaching and learning materials are to support pupils in school to study hard and be motivated. She informed the gathering that they will also provide the Braille edition for the blind pupils. Mary Hunt noted that girls are always lagging behind in schools because they are not safe. They are due to sexual harassment, and they will make sure that they provide another conducive atmosphere in schools for the reduction of girls dropping out of school. The mayor of the Freetown municipality, Yvonne Akisoya, and the chairman Parliamentary Oversight Committee of Basic Education pledged their continuous commitment in supporting and monitoring the distribution of the learning materials to various schools across the country. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawamosiri reporting.
The leader and chairman of the National Grand Coalition, NGC, Honorable Dr. Kande Yumkala, and the Deputy Minister of Labour, Lansana Doumbouya, have delivered a public lecture on global economy to sustainable development at the Institute of Advanced Management and Technology, IAMTech, on an affiliate of Njala University, Cambia branch. The 5-day lecture organized by the Institute saw several stakeholders, including the Member of Parliament of Constituency 059, Abdul Karim Kamara, also gave a presentation on the role of youth in governance. Here's a report with Ibrahim Suri Kamara.
Contribute to sustainable development in the country.
Delivering his lecture on global economy to sustainable development, the leader and chairman of the National Grand Coalition, Honorable Dr. Kande Yomkela, said Sierra Leone is one of the countries that is seriously challenged with deforestation. He said Sierra Leone has little to export to other countries and therefore cannot improve foreign private investment. Honorable Dr. Kande Yomkela said diversifying economies is a step towards a more sustainable global economy. He added that many countries, including Sierra Leone, that depend on only a few commodities are deprived of that luxury. He said without diversification, the country is highly susceptible to price shocks and shifts in investment. He said one of the opportunities for Sierra Leone is to restructure and broaden the sources of revenue through fiscal reforms. Dr. Kande Yomkela said Sierra Leone can make its finance sustainable through public investment that crowd in private investments, public-private partnerships, better institutional capacities, regulatory changes and structural reforms.
Goal number 16, peace and justice and strong institutions. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Provide access to justice for all and build effective, accountable and inclusive institutions at all levels. I want to repeat it because now I move into politics. That is goal number 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals.
He called on the students to demonstrate positive attitude and improve on their capacities so that they can contribute to the human capital in ensuring sustainable development. Other presentations were the role of youth in governance and human capital and development, delivered by Deputy Minister of Labour Lansana Doumbouya and the Member of Parliament of Constituency 059 Abdul Karim Kamara. Emphasis was made on students' empowerment to meet international markets. Many students described the event as novelty through education in Cambia and promised to utilize the knowledge to contribute to nation building.
The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Tijan Wuri, has assured junior doctors that their concerns will be addressed, especially their pay package, location on call and biohazard allowances. He made the statement during a courtesy call on the minister by the Junior Doctors Association at the Ministry's Conference Hall, UU Building. Joseph Stanley now reports.
Recall in November last year, the Junior Doctors Association went on a strike as the Ministry of Health and Sanitation did not address their demands, which included improved conditions of service among others. According to Dr. Uri, most of the concerns raised, apart from salary and management, and that he is pleased that those issues were raised. He expressed delight to meet and interact with the doctors to chart the way forward on their demands to enhance quality health outcomes for the populace. The minister disclosed that government has agreed, among others, to pay biohazard allowances despite doctors were trained to prevent such hazards. Government is concerned about their existence and quality of life. He hoped that the payment of the uncalled allowances will ensure 24-hour services and stressed the importance of the location allowance.
Location allowance. We are happy that it is now time that we serve Sierra Leone and not just the Western area. 42% of all health workers are based in the Western area. And those that are in the provinces are usually just the urban settings, and that is, I think the distribution of the workforce in Sierra Leone does not allow us to give full-fledged service to the people of this country. And the on-call allowance, we should allow us to do so. So, I consider this a win-win situation for all. You have highlighted areas in management that needs to be looked into. We have responded by giving this three-tier intervention that should help the system.
Dr. Alpha Wuri informed the doctors that the ministry has put modalities in place to address the management issues in all tertiary hospitals and assured them that at the end of January 2019, all cadres of health workers will receive an attractive package. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Amara Jambai, said arrangement has almost been completed for a change of management at the Connaught Hospital and that similar changes will be extended to the Princess Christian Maternity and the Oladurin hospitals. The president of the Junior Doctors Association, Dr. Abdul Jibril Injai, said the meeting was a follow-up as well as to get an update on how far the ministry has gone in addressing some of their demands.
We commend the efforts you put in over the period of holidays. As we noticed, you were still working and doing a lot, but we also wanted to make it practical so that we could have some updates and then a follow-up as to some of the latest that's happening, and also just an opportunity to interact.
He expressed delight for the outcome of the meeting and on behalf of the association pledged their commitment to continue to provide selfless services to save lives.
The Right to Access Information Commission has engaged civil society organizations, members of parliament and government functionaries on proactive disclosure publication scheme at a 5-day forum held at the Radisson Blu Conference Room, Aberdeen, with support from the World Bank. As Ibrahim Samura reports, the commission is still challenged with compliance by public authorities in proactively disclosing information.
Active disclosure publication scheme engagement brought together government officials, parliamentarians and civil society groups across the country. The 5-day forum seeks to open discussions on shared value approach to be taken to mobilize and empower them towards proactively disclosing information. The Information Commissioner Right to Access Information Commission, Dr. Ibrahim Shaw, underscored the importance of the session, saying it was part of a follow-up activity after the launch of the Proactive Forum in December last year. Dr. Shaw gave a background to the formation of the Commission, its vision, mandate and core values, which he said are geared towards promoting openness and good governance.
The whole idea is to encourage people to, provide information ahead, to make it available, instead of waiting to react to demand. So it's more like promoting the supply side, to try and, because at the moment what we see is that, there's very little information that is available out there. Okay, so part of the proactive disclosure, which is very much embedded in the Act, the 2013 Act, the Right to Access Information Act, is very clear that the Commission is mandated to work with MDAs, ministries, departments and agencies.
The Information Commissioner highlighted key data achievements such as freedom of information request, implementation of the Act, setting up of the Open Data Council, operationalize the Open Data Portal, and developing policies and guiding principles, among others. He said understaffing, limited logistics, funding, and institutional support are some of the challenges the Commission is faced with. The Commissioner Right to Access Information Commission for Western Area said the Act highlighted the responsibility and obligations of public authorities to proactively disclose information while strengthening measures to promote openness. She told participants that every public authority is required to record and maintain records of its activity in a manner that facilitates the right to information. Madam Thompson spoke about challenges in the implementation of the Act, ranging from poor level of compliance by public authorities in proactively disclosing information and inadequate access to data and information by citizens, among others. Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education Ministry Alpha Timbo underscored the importance of open data, noting that his ministry cannot do without data. He stressed the need to provide credible and accurate data. Mr. Timbo said the engagement is necessary, saying it will immensely enhance dialogue and foster coordination among MDs on the need for the proactive disclosure. The Director of Ministerial Coordination Office of the Chief Minister, Dr. Joe Lahai Somana, said proactive disclosure publication scheme enhance obligations for public authorities to provide measures to promote openness. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
Over 300 students in both primary and secondary schools in Kano districts have been given scholarship and school materials for their excellent performance in MPSC and Becker exams. The Playhouse Foundation made the donation at the Musa Sesi Benda Hall in Koidu Town, Kano district. Mariam Musuma reports.
Addressing students and parents, founder Madam Finda Kuruma and co-founder Abu Didi Kuruma said that this is not the first time the foundation is supporting the children. Madam Finda said they have been supporting pupils and orphans in different chiefdoms in the district. She urged the girls to make good use of the opportunity by paying attention in school.
Listen very carefully to what I'm saying to you. I have always told you that greatness can only be achieved through hard work, leadership, focus, honesty, which is what the Lord Mayor mentioned, and good ethics. You heard what Boston says, manners maketh man. But the great Boston for also say, manners maketh women. I need you to believe in yourselves and to pursue your dreams, your hopes and aspirations. You should not resort to teaching.
Chairman Council of Paramount Chiefs, Paramount Chief Emmanuel Tochefoyo, thanked the Playhouse Foundation for their kind gesture towards students in the district. He said over the past years, the foundation has contributed greatly in the education sector in the district.
Playhouse Foundation has given out lot of donations of this type to this district. I was part of it. We've been going around giving solar lights. We've been going around giving books, textbooks, and scholarships, especially to children that are doing well in their class course.
Deputy Director of Education in Kono District, Brema Kemo Kuruma, lauded the effort of the foundation as the award is in line with President Bio's free quality education scheme. He advised parents to always monitor their children's performance in school. Meaningful contributions were made by stakeholders present at the event, including a cross-section of Oba, who paid tribute to Air Abu Kurma, who was the national president of Oba. The best Becker student in the district, who scored aggregate 9, received 1,500,000 leons, and 1 million leons was awarded to the best NPSC pupil, who scored 318 in the 2018 academic year.
Because education is the key to success, and you need to work hard for you to be educated.
School materials were also donated to the students by the Playhouse Foundation. The Playhouse Foundation is a charitable organization that was established in 2009 by Air Abu Didi Kuruma and Madam Finda Kuruma in memory of their parent, Air Abu Kuruma, and wife, Danke Evelyn Kuruma. For SLBC News, Mariam Masuma reporting.
You're watching SLBC News Hour in Freetown. And now for some African news. Opposition presidential candidate Martin Fayulu has warned election officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo not to disguise the truth as tensions mount over the delayed result. Mr. Fayulu said the Congolese people already know the result of the vote, which took place on the 30th of December. A local observer group said it had witnessed major irregularities at counting stations. President Joseph Kabila is due to step down after 18 years in office. The election outcome was initially expected to be announced on Sunday. Nigeria's military has released an editor of the respected Daily Trust newspaper after detaining him on Sunday over an article about a planned offensive to recapture territory lost to militant Islamists in the northeast in recent weeks. Uthman Abubakar had been treated courteously during his detention, but his mobile phones and laptop were still with the military, Daily Trust editor-in-chief Manir Dan Ali said in a statement. They told him that they needed time to finish the forensic checks they are carrying out on the equipment, Dan Ali added. Abubakar is the newspaper's regional editor in the northeastern city of Maiduguri, the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency. Well, at least 94 camels have died in northern Kenya from suspected poisoning after drinking water in an abandoned well. At least 26 others were in critical condition, Shanda Guyo, a veterinary officer in the Masabat arid region, told the BBC. The deaths were a huge loss for the animal owners, he added. Camels are culturally revered and loved among the Gabra people, who use them for transport, meat, and milk. And now we take a quick look at the entertainment news. J's Media Group, JMG, is an entertainment label set up by a young Sierra Leonean based in America. The label was launched on Tuesday, the 8th of January at the Hotel 510 in the east end of Freetown. Many stakeholders in the industry witnessed the launching. Our entertainment team witnessed and filed in such reports.
Many music labels have been launched in Sierra Leone, but the greatest problem is how successful are those labels in the country's entertainment industry. In the light of this, a young Sierra Leonean, Abdul Kano, based in America, decided to launch his music and movie label, J's Media Group, JMG, at the Hotel 510 in the eastern of Freetown on Tuesday, the 8th of January. This label is to help boost the entertainment industry both in music and movies. Many stakeholders in the entertainment industry were present and they gave their professional advice. The manager of Eagle Radio, DJ Carlos, in a statement mentioned that the industry is backward due to the lack of attention given by the government to the entertainment industry. And continued that the country needs a good internet facility so that bloggers will be able to sell out the good jobs of our entertainers online. DJ Carlos said, some of our artists are also problems to the decline of the industry. He said most of the musicians are producers, managers, promoters, and even marketers, which is not good in the industry, as they need people to do their job for them in order to be taken seriously. According to him, all musicians are supposed to have managers. Mohamed King Lambango, one of the stakeholders in the entertainment industry in the country, called on the government to show a sign of seriousness in promoting the industry. He gave an instance in Nigeria in 2009 when the federal government gave the entertainment industry $200 million for it to be developed. He said the body responsible for the Nigerian entertainment industry utilized it well, and now the entertainment industry in Nigeria is a different story. He mentioned that for entertainers in the country to develop, we need all hands on deck and think less about personal gains. Also, another contribution came from a very hard-working entertainment promoter, Mohammed Bash of Star TV, who supported the ideas of DJ Carlos and King Milan, saying that our entertainment industry needs straightforward people. The guest speaker, John Conte, of a popular mobile company, said that he felt trapped in the middle of other speakers who focused their speeches on the lack of fast internet system in the country to help improve the entertainment industry, especially for the outside world to know more of our stars. He promised that his mobile company will do more as they are 100% committed in promoting Sierra Leonean local content. The Chief Executive Officer of J's Media Group, JMG, Abdul Kano, said he has been planning to launch the record label for the past 2 years, but decided to wait for God's appointed time. The CEO said establishing the record label is to help boost the entertainment industry in the country, and asked about how confident the artists are in signing a contract with his label. He has this to say.
So I signed up for 4 albums, and each album is 12 songs that are more approved songs.
And are you optimistic that they will deliver?
Yes, I'm optimistic.
He said the purpose of the label is to ensure that Sierra Leone entertainment be taken to an international level and assure the public that the label is here to stay. Emmanuel Rogers, aka Foyo, is a veteran musician and one of the artists signed to the label. He spoke on behalf of the other musicians on how credible and seriously minded JMG label is in promoting the music industry. He said the signing of the artist is one of the greatest things to have happened in their musical career.
According to the agreement, the agreement is like 80% in favor of the artist, you understand? And we agreed on it, we have couple of meetings, we agreed on it. As by the end of the day, we meet at a point and something came up.
The CEO of JMG said all songs from the label will probably censored before sending them out to the public. The launching climax with the signing of contracts in the JMG label by the artist, Article Foyo, Alvin, Anita, Miss Posh, FOC, Black Snoop, Cam Diva, and Khadija Grace. A musical performance was done by all signed artists of the JMG label.
The Vice Chairman of the Sierra Leone Traders Council, Vandy Lansana, has called on traders to stop mixing chemicals into local products, especially palm oil, groundnut and pepper, which is causing complications for consumers. He made this call to SLBC in this special package to look into how traders have been mixing chemicals into local foodstuff. Mohamed Lamin Toure reports.
It is reported that palm oils and pepper sold in the markets are contaminated with coloring tablets and pop drinks. The contaminated palm oil looks naturally red, but when used in cooking, renders the food sticky and tastes bad, emitting an odor that is unpalatable. There is also reports of a particular substance used to color pepper, like palm oil, to enhance the colors in order to maximize profits.
Yeah, the local adulteration of food products in Sierra Leone is not something that is new. This has been a challenge in our country, Sierra Leone. It has to do with dishonesty from our traders. Some of these local traders selling palm oil. We have realized that some of them dishonestly adulterate the palm oil to change the color of the palm oil.
The contamination of local produce has become a norm for certain traders to maximize the profits. Pepper is no exception. It is mixed with powdered cola. The Sierra Leone Standards Bureau is challenged with manpower when consumer brings up issues of contaminated foodstuff to them. Reports say if the Bureau is to be effective and efficient, the recommendation for the establishment of food safety security in Parliament must be enacted. Vandy Lansana, Vice President, Traders Union, told the SLBC that they have heard of contaminated palm oils, okra, and other foodstuffs.
Far too long we've been hearing about this particular issue, that some local product like palm oil, pepper, and the likes have been mixed with other substance by our traders. We've done a lot for the palm oil specific. We've went through the areas that we believe a huge amount of palm oil being manufactured from that area. That's the likes of the Bow and the Kenema. We've engaged our palm oil sellers in that particular area to educate them and to know the negative impacts such activity will cause.
Reports say the McKinney incident is under investigation. The union is planning to visit communities and markets to educate their membership on the negative impacts of such acts. Contaminating local foodstuff with chemicals is harmful when consumed. It causes serious health complications.
Mixing anything that they are not of the same source is harmful to human health. For example, if you take a look at palm oil, mixing palm oil with different colors, a lot of people mix them just maybe to increase the quantity, but if you look at the quality of itself, it's not good, and medically it hinders the system. It's not good because what is going in, you cannot really determine what is going to happen to the system, but it causes a lot of harms in the system.
They grind this dry pepper. Dry pepper is mixed with cola, but I buy mine and pay for it to be grained. Even palm oil is mixed with candle in the container, and it is also mixed with coloring for it to be red.
This issue of local food products being mixed with other materials in the country is not fine. It ends up becoming sickness to the human system. People should stop such acts for the safety of everyone.
So the people who don't do anything, they are new and they beg them. God will not let them stop that one.
I go buy palm oil. I buy palm oil these days after cooking it. We notice it's not good because it's mixed. People should stop such acts as it brings sickness to us. It must be stopped now for the safety of everyone.
So they are beg, I go tell my sister they are made a nonsense.
And now to end the news, the main points again. President Bio has introduced the free education core textbooks for primary and secondary schools. First Lady has launched a project to economically empower female entrepreneurs in Sierra Leone. Police at New Englandville have begun investigations on a shooting incident on Sankey Street, Brookfields. And Criminal Investigations Department has interrogated APC Secretary General. That's all in this edition of News Hour. I have been Willie Minopupu. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.